Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice, we're gonna get our 8:16 kind of weird retro bits on because we're playing Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game! I'm not quite sure why it's not called Scott Pilgrim versus the game.
Because that would be far too easy.
Anyway, welcome back to a new episode of the Hall of Justice. Speaking of the microphones today, will it be me, Mr. James Story?
Hey, I'm Ben.
Yeah, there we go.
I couldn't see you pointing at me because I was looking at the screen.
And me, Ty, who's always ready to say my name.
Damn straight, he needs no introduction. That's why I let him introduce
That's
himself.
the one thing we always say about Ty. He's always ready to say his name.
Scott Pilgrim is obviously a wonderful comic book series that was obviously turned into a game, which we are now playing, and turned into a movie, which we will be touching on all of these.
Winners don't use drugs.
That is beautiful. The Geek Bureau of Investigation. Okay, so let's start with the comic book, with it being the ultimate source material of all of the media we'll be consuming.
By Brian Lee O'Malley, both words and pictures.
Yes. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you just fucking love Scott Pilgrim? Because I'm at a solid 9, baby.
What, the books or the whole thing?
I just said the books.
Okay, I'm just double checking. Jesus.
Okay.
Back, man. Yeah, 9, 8 or a 9.
Nice.
Well, I'd really just say it depends on the book, really. Most books I'll be on 8 or a 9, but there's some that I'm more on like a 6 or a 7 because I lose interest in some books.
So does that average out to an 8 overall?
7.8.
7.8. Beautiful.
That's high on my scale, though.
Okay. Yeah, so Scott Pilgrim versus the World, although the first volume is called Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life, which I always forget, specifically remember because I revised. Basically a wonderful kind of like hipster video game inspired series, all about dating in your early 20s, the social hang-ups, how you can be ruined by relationships, what scar tissue you have. It's a pretty deep subject that is framed brilliantly through lots of ridiculous video game fighting and special effects and references to Nintendo classic games, stuff like that.
Yeah, and plus it's lots of indie music scene type stuff and lo-fi band stuff, which that's a big part of why I relate to it from being a teenager and being in and hanging around a lot of bands, and that was a big draw for me of the feeling of that scene of this band are celebrities in this very small social circle and no one has heard of them outside of that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's great because they're based on the fight, especially the fight scene, very fantasy, very very late 80s, early 90s fighting games like Street Fighter, that sort of thing. And it was just the best part of the books were always the fight scenes and how the fights. Obviously, they got a bit more elaborate later on. Obviously, a lot more interesting. But I think my favorite fight scenes are the earlier ones where it's just straight fighting, especially with Matthew Patel, where it's just combos, hits, and then got to get together as a team for a super move, which is always great.
The Matthew Patel one in particular is super influenced by Street Fighter, including the KO bit at the end, which they do with I think it's just the sound sample from Street Fighter in the movie where they have the KO.
I believe they do. Yes, if it's not just the straight sample, it's a very good impression.
And it's I really enjoy the way that they're never explicit about okay, how much of this is a real thing that is happening and how much of this is Scott's perception of it, and are there even fights here, or is it just people glaring at each other?
Yeah. So I suppose it's worth noting the kind of the crux of the plot through Scott Pilgrim is Scott meeting a wonderful hipster chick with blue hair and goggles, as you can see on the screen now, called Ramona. And in order to kind of be with her, he has to fight her 7 evil exes. And yeah, it's kind of odd. Like just each volume meeting different exes and finding out their relationship to Scott, and then also finding out other people in the novel's relationship, like past relationships with Scott, like Kim. Kim's wonderful because she's like always in the mood, but it's like totally justified.
Yeah.
But in terms of Ramona's evil exes, I have 2 important questions for you. 1, who's your favorite? And 2, why is it Todd Ingram? Because Todd Ingram's just the best. He's so great.
He plays bass, so it's clearly the best.
He plays bass, he's a vegan, he's got superpowers. He dates Envy Adams, the most perfect woman in the universe.
And he wears a Punisher shirt.
Exactly. So
He's not just best in the comic books; he's also the best in the film as well.
Plus, in the film he's Superman.
Although he ends very abruptly in the movie, not in the movie, in the books, because it just sort of happens. Also, they do go through what is it? The store,
Honest
store?
Ed's.
Honest Ed's, which does make an appearance, but it's only in the background.
Yeah, the Honest Ed's bit in the book is so weird. The fact that like they go in and they're kind of like mystified by all these bargains.
Oh yeah, the like competing to get through because there's so many bargains, and it's like will drive you insane. Which I thought like it's cool in the book, and I totally forgot about it until I reread it. So it was a fun little like, oh, this scene again.
Yeah,
I forgot this happened. But I think the way they do it with the vegan police and the fact that he's not actually really a vegan because he eats eggs and chicken.
Yeah.
It's chicken and eggs, bitch.
Freeze! Vegan police! Vegan police! Todd Ingram, you're under arrest for veganity violation. Code number 827. Imbibe and half and half. It's Bulldor. No vegan diet, no vegan powers.
But it's only my first offense, so don't I get 3 strikes? I mean,
Take it.
12:27 a.m. on February 1st. You knowingly ingested gelato.
gelato isn't vegan.
It's milk and eggs, bitch. On April 4th, 7:30 p.m., you partook a plate of chicken parmesan.
Chicken isn't vegan?
The de-veganizing Ray.
Hit him.
Is a really funny, like, neat little way to do that in the movie.
Yeah, and in the book, he's just like, "You're eating gelato, isn't that? Is that actually vegan?" He's like, "I'm pretty sure."
Yeah, just so odd. The fact that being a vegan would give you superpowers. Because,
No, that's true.
Because and
Being
why?
a vegan just makes you better than people.
Exactly.
true, yeah.
Because you only use 10% of your brain power, and the rest is curds and whey.
Yeah.
Fuck's
Accurate.
sake. So what, Ben, is Todd your favorite?
Oh, possibly. I don't know.
Probably.
Gideon's really cool though.
Gideon is wonderful.
And no, I've forgotten his name, so it clearly isn't my favorite.
What, Lucas Lee?
Yeah, thank you.
Lucas Lee's pretty good. I always thought that in the book and in the movie, just because we stayed so close to it. Like his end bit is not great.
I like it of like he's a kind of insecure douchebag, so like all you have to do to beat him is challenge him at something that he knows he shouldn't do, and he can't back down from it.
He's good. I mean, I did really like the stunt doubles.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Which is actually taken from what I was saying about the. They took it from the Free Comic Book Day comic.
Oh right,
They were fought by a load of clones.
Mm.
I properly read it, so I don't really know what the scene was.
Yeah.
But I know that's where they took it from.
Okay, cool.
Also, the castle that they film at in the movie is an actual castle that's where like Brian Lee O'Malley used to like live, and he put that in the book because he'd walked up there when they were shooting a Hilary Duff movie. And then the producers on the Hilary Duff movie also ended up producing the Scott Pilgrim movie.
Oh, okay. That's most fortuitous.
Quite range.
Yeah, I suppose like there's a lot of like hometownness, like a very very hometown like Toronto vibe to the book. Brian Lee O'Malley obviously putting a lot of his childhood into it, and like all of the characters are kind of tied together with like being in this very small music scene, as you were saying, and like if somebody like moving to a new town is like such like a starting your whole life over, which is what Ramona does.
And it's a big thing with, as you learn more about Kim, her story and the way a lot of stuff happened with Kim, and a lot of why she's justified in the way she acts. And the great, like, one of the bits that I do miss from the film that's in the book is when Kim moves back home in the book and is just like lost and depressed.
Yeah.
And then Scott comes up to stay with her and has to fight Nigger Scott and stuff.
They have to make out. It's so weird. Yeah. Fuck him.
Scott Pilgrim is kind of a dick.
He is.
Scott Pilgrim's a massive dick, particularly in the last book, which, well, at the start of the last book anyway. Considering, it's all about like finally confronting Gideon and, the hero getting the girl and defeating the evil, like really fucking evil, like Ultimate X in Gideon. But right at the start, he's just like basically trying to mac with any chick that's been mentioned in the rest of the series.
That's
like
true, yeah.
Do you want to go casual? Do you want casual sex? Casual sex?
Yeah, it's just like trying to get with knives.
When he and Knives make out and it's terrible.
Oh god, that is.
That's why I think the ending is just doesn't fit Scott Pilgrim. It's one of the issues I have. It's
right.
It's too ideal. It's too ideal for Scott. It's just he does it. It's because everyone's like happy, everyone's friends, everyone's in relationships or gotten out of relationships. In some
See, I think it kind of works in that it's like a lot of people grow up, and Scott and Ramona have both grown up a bit, and enough for them to realize actually we do kind of work together. Plus, we shouldn't inflict each other on anyone else right now. So let's try and make this work with each other and try and grow and be better people together.
I think there's a lot more of a role reversal when it comes with the movie as well. It's like Scott is obviously the ass in this book, and Ramona is very much the person who wants to keep this relationship going. And she's a lot better.
She still runs away when
Yeah, but she's not like as distant as she is in the movie, whereas Scott is a lot more like, oh my god, I love her, I want to be with her, nothing else matters.
I suppose, yeah, okay, so let's transition fully on into the movie now, because there's quite a bit of side stuff, obviously, missed out from the books, because you've only got so much time, and a lot of Scott's, like, previous life is either cut out or glossed over, particularly his past relationship with Kim.
Yeah, it's joked on.
Yeah. So I suppose that a symptom of that is going to be that Scott is going to be a little bit more like heroic, and I don't want to say wholesome because he is ultimately like still.
I still think he comes across as a dick in the movie, but you don't get like how he was a dick to Kim, how he was a dick to Envy.
Yeah.
You get how he was a dick to Knives, because that's
Absolutely,
going on like, during it.
Yeah.
I think the story just makes you want to be on his side, and if you're on the side of the villains all the time.
And in the film, you don't get as much of like why Ramona does kind of push him away and run off. Like it's a bit more abrupt because you can't have that time of build up of him being weird and her not knowing how to deal with it.
Yeah, and there's less of the side characters as well. Like it's all based on Scott, like whereas the book's more based on his friends, and there's a lot of stories, like especially with Kim. There's young Neil.
He's gay.
Yes, that's one thing they cut out, and I was really sad that they cut that out.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that bit.
Like subplot.
It's just like, did Jules turn you gay?
Oh, Jules. When I was flicking through the books in preparation for this episode, in volume 4, which is not my favorite. It's one where they deal with Roxy and a little bit with Knives' family. It's not bad. It's just not really up there with some of the other stuff. But right towards the end, there's just a picture of like everybody sat around the table.
Yeah.
There's like 12 or 13 people in there, and I mean, obviously in the movie you don't have time for that kind of ensemble cast in like a Scott Pilgrim movie. I mean, hell, it's hard enough to market anyway. But like, just looking at the book with like all the individual characters, and I could remember almost all of them, but I remember why we're all there and what we're all doing. I was like, that is a real good sense of community and like real life relationships.
And I think the thing that almost anyone can relate to that, like having like the times when you get like entire friendship group together and
yes,
and like, oh, this person like is kind of not really getting along with this other person right now, but we're all friends overall, so it's working as we're all together.
Yes, yeah. Plus, Wallace is just wonderful.
Oh, just while this bit's on screen, the weird like breast jiggle animation in this game, it just freaks me out.
Both like so, Ramona's like at least somewhat normal, but the chick behind the video counter is way too much. That's some like Dead or Alive stuff. Oh, and the girl in front as well,
which I think is Julie.
Is that Julie? Yeah.
They don't do that.
Yeah. Boobs don't work that way in the movie.
Aubrey Plaza's boobs aren't just constantly jiggling.
Oh god, yeah, that's Aubrey Plaza. Oh, she's so wonderful.
So, what can I get you?
Is there anywhere you don't work?
They're called jobs, something a ball like you wouldn't know anything about. And by the way, I can't believe you asked Ramona out after I specifically told you not to do that.
How are you doing that with your mouth?
Never mind how I'm doing it.
Is Aubrey Plaza like the hottest bitch ever? And by bitch, I don't mean like, you know, you're a sexy bitch. I mean, she's just like a bitch. She's got resting bitch face all the time.
In
like
everything she's ever done.
Yeah, it's like if you don't want to talk to her
that's
because
a shtick.
Yeah, because she's obviously just going to like fucking hate you immediately when you look at her face. She's hot.
Yeah, it was in
but
have you seen Dirty Grandpa? It's the same thing in there.
No.
No, she's just there, but she's trying to be sexy, and I sat in the bed, and she just has this like this grouchy face, and you're just like, why am I slightly liking this right now?
You're not smoldering. You no.
But also, both Anna Kendrick and Mary Elizabeth Winstead are in this movie, so Aubrey Plaza is down the list for me.
Okay, right. This is a very serious question because the movie is full of some very, very attractive ladies.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can only bang one of them. I'm not talking about relationship because we know that having a relationship in the Scott Pilgrim universe is like fucking messy. So you can only bone one of them. Movie versions. Who do you go with?
Stacy.
Stacy.
Scott's sister. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
If it was having a relationship, I'd probably pick Ramona. But
Wait, really? Did you
Yeah.
not watch that movie?
yeah, but yeah, no, I'm a masochist.
It's like, come on, man! I want to have an adventure. Yeah.
I'm just from America.
Whoa. I'd probably say Ramona. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is
I'd probably say Kim from the movie.
Okay.
You see, I'm not a very big fan of movie Kim.
Oh, I am.
like
I
movie
really am. I think she looks really nice, and although she's only in the background, she doesn't really do anything at all. That like compared to what she does in the book.
She drums.
Oh, she drums.
She drums.
She drums my heart.
Oh.
And then at like the Comic-Con panel, she was just really attractive. And, yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't think she'd be married. She's just going to be moody the entire marriage. Probably that would not happen.
Yeah,
No, only if you are Scott Pilgrim. If like you're somebody else, she's probably going to be better
Well,
off.
all you have to do is do what Scott did at the end. It was just like, I'm sorry. Oh, she's happy again. What?
Yeah, it turns out she's not a bitch. She just wanted him to apologize for being a dick.
Okay, so what are you guys' thoughts on the end of the movie, and more specifically the like alternative ending that they shot and did not use?
I can't remember what the alternative ending is.
He goes with knives, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's ridiculous. I think
You think that's ridiculous?
I think the ending of the movie is possibly because we've not had the time to build Scott and Ramona's relationship dynamic. It doesn't make as much sense as it does for them going off in the end of the book. But Knives should not get back with Scott. Like, she's better than that. I think it doesn't make any...
Like we fell into the store. Look, forget the guys in the store. You shouldn't be in there. What
are you doing?
Bashing him against the counter.
Get out of here!
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, just... Is that Mrs. Chow?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, it is,
yeah, just Knives' whole arc is that she's learned that she's better than Scott and doesn't need him, and getting back with him doesn't make any sense for her character as far as I'm concerned.
I know. It's like for that when they break up, she's quite sad and lonely, especially the Kanti and Naga twins scene. She's like on her own, and she just thought, "Oh, go say hi." But I mean, the final scene, I can see the point where it shows they're a great team, and if they were going to have the original ending of them being together, I could totally see that. But then they totally go off it, and he just goes, "Oh, you should go be with her." I'm like, what?
Yeah,
that threw me a bit when I actually saw that.
I thought it showed that like Knives had gotten more mature, and also Scott as well, so that if they ended up together, like they can safely know that like they're going to give it another shot, and they're both much better for it, because Scott is less of a dick, has gotten over a lot of hang-ups, and Knives is a bit more realistic, whereas right at the start of the movie she like totally idealizes it.
But what about young Neil?
You mean Neil?
Well, that's the greatest moment of his life.
That's what my
young Neil though. Admittedly, Knives with the like when she gets the blue streak in her hair is really funny, and it gets punched out.
Punch the highlights right out of her hair.
Scott. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame the drummer didn't do that.
Yeah,
like the cybernetic.
Oh yeah, they
drummer.
just completely took the cyborg drummer out of.
Well, she was in the background. But
she's there, but you don't know that she's a cyborg or that.
So wait, the Clash of the Boys drummer is a cyborg?
No, it's
Eddie
the
Adams drummer.
Clash of Demon Head drummer.
Oh god, I did not remember that.
Yeah, it's like when they're in that rather than that meeting.
You fight her in the game, in fact.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the Clash of Demon Head bit, you fight her.
Wow, this guy's got really high
Yeah, you
defense.
fight her first, I think.
Okay, cool.
Before you fight like Envy and then Todd.
Kim's having none of this. Look, I'm fucking out of here. Bitch. Let's get off the road. I'll tell you one thing about this game. When you're a low level, it's fucking hard as shit.
Yeah.
It's when you're low level and you're playing it single player.
That's the worst.
It's really hard. This game is so much more fun playing it with a bunch of people and leveling up than like just trying to play single player and make like. It's a pretty bad game playing it single player.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun playing it with people.
This is far too many enemies for.
I like how it takes on some of the ongoing themes,
Which I think
especially with the coins.
It's a like a problem with all of these kind of side-scrolling brawlers in general.
Yeah, I love that they kept the art style exactly the same to the book.
Yes,
it looks absolutely great. Like, it's just another thing, I suppose, because obviously the book is drawn by Brian Lee O'Malley as well, and getting into the movie, you know, there was a little bit of just like a minor backlash against Michael Cera in terms of how he looked like Scott, and it's like, well, you can probably act like him, I'm not sure he looks the same, and like obviously, as I said earlier, I think Kim looks quite different to the book version. So going back to the game and having them be like exactly the same to the comic books, I thought was super awesome.
Agreed.
Sorry, mesmerized by the great gameplay.
So generally, yeah, it is a great game. I do have some hang-ups about the item buying system, which is a very small thing to have about a game. But you know, you go in there and you can purchase food, and they will buff your stats and recover HP and stuff like that. But they won't tell you what each item does. Whilst, like, before you select it, you basically have
a small cup of coffee.
Exactly, yeah.
Peps you right up. Like, I don't know what that means in terms of this game.
Yeah. So
because there are some items that if you've got them in your inventory and you die, you like come back with
exactly.
And there are some that just boost your health from what it is right now. And
it's when you buy it and the person asks whether you want to eat it now or not. And if you say yes, then it just uses it up. And if you say no, it like adds to your inventory. But I don't believe you can actually use that item on cue. It just gets used.
It gets used.
Yeah,
when
when
we did terribly
you die.
at getting those piggy banks.
Yeah. So the subspace sections,
which is where you get all the money.
Yeah, pretty cool. I really like it. And again, a very good way to like. Weirdly reference video game culture with like little glitches.
Yeah, it's a cool thing that's in the books of the subspace highways, and then is also the like hidden level stuff from video games.
Yeah, they don't really explain it well in the books. It's just they explain it as she travels through it with Amazon, but then in books they actually go into some sort of detail.
Yeah,
although very little.
You don't have that in Canada.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
It's like 3 miles and 15 seconds or somewhere like that.
Yeah. I don't understand how Subspace, like, both traverses physical world locations and covers Scott's dreams.
No, it's because she travels through Scott's head, and that's how she does it. And the subspace is like traveling through people's heads. But
I see.
that's why Scott becomes like obsessed with her, because he's always thinking about it. 'Cause she's always using it.
Okay. I went back and replayed this level, this boss battle with Matthew Patel, by myself with like a level 16 Scott. I wrecked him.
Yeah.
Oh, it took like 20 seconds.
You punch a hole in the moon.
It's so hard.
Punched him so hard, changed the curvature of the earth.
Okay, so yeah, I reread that whole bit with no wait, no, the punching a hole in the moon is Lucas Lee. Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
no? It's Todd Ingram that punches a hole in the
Todd.
moon.
Is it Todd? Yeah.
Because
Oh no, the scene. What I was referencing was was Scott when he sat down.
Yeah.
but the same thing.
Yeah. But anyway.
because you find out that there's multiple holes in the moon because Todd has done it for multiple girls, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's so messed up. So I was reading bit that Scott recaps him saving Kim, and it's kind of like the exact same situation as the rest of the book, wherein he like goes into high school and like beats a load of bosses, and like eventually fights the guy who's like captured Kim, and everything's good, and then they make out, and then things get terrible. But like in the last book, they're kind of recounting that story before they embarrassingly make out, and Kim's like, yeah, that guy wasn't like an evil villain or anything. He was just like a Chinese kid at the school. I think he like hugged me once. And like in the background they show like a panel that is like from volume 2 of this guy who kind of looks like Gideon, but like he's kind of tall, he's got like sweeping hair.
Yeah.
And like he's very much like a high school hipster guy. And then, like, just below it, it's like what the guy probably actually looked like. He's just like a regular person. I thought that was a really good way of demonstrating that, like, when it comes to relationships and if you want to, like, go against somebody, that you're totally just going to see them as this, like, badass, but you just going to take down. It's like, no, fuck that guy. I'm better than him. Oh, Scott died! No! It's fine.
Achievement.
It's a really good
You challenger.
like example of like everybody's the hero of their own story.
Yes, very much.
And it's one of the few times when the book kind of addresses that maybe the way you're seeing this isn't the way this happened so much as the way Scott views it or remembers it. Although I do like that when Matthew Patel challenges him, they all are just like, doesn't he know that Scott's the best fighter in, like, is it the county or like?
I like how the movie just glances over that. It's just like, yeah, Scott's a good fighter.
Well,
just how it is.
Does the same thing. It's just like, don't they know that Scott's a great fighter, and it, like, doesn't address it again.
Don't they know about expositional detail? Oh, cool. This level's really cool.
Yeah, I really like all of the like art design and like I guess character design stuff for this level.
The paparazzi,
which helps
villains
because we had to play it twice.
Yeah, the paparazzi guys are annoying, particularly again when you're low level, because they stun you.
And also, I am bad at this game.
Yeah, there's nothing like impeding your progress by like physically freezing you for half a second.
Where you can't do anything and you're already getting the shit kicked out of you.
You can't attack, can't block, and the guy actually won't attack you. He's just going to click, and you're like, okay, go.
They missed out. They could have done something with like Crash and Boys scene. They could have had like some sort of fight, maybe.
Well, they just have Crash and the Boys, like everybody's knocked out in the club when you turn up after Crash and the Boys have played, and then Matthew Patel challenges you. And, like,
what was it Song That Kills the Audience?
Yeah.
This is a scene they missed out as well. What was it? We Hate You, Please Die. I think it was referred to.
What the song?
That, I love
the song
this
written for Wallace.
Yeah, it's like his song just for the guy at the top. We hate you.
It's called "We Hate You, Please Die." Cool, they wrote a song for me.
It's not a race, guys.
Guess who's drunk?
I guess Wallace.
You
guessed
right. Can I pretend you're talking about a boy? So I met this girl, you met this boy.
You met this boy. I don't know. Wallace is like really sassy and also Scott's moral compass. It's just like, Scott, you need to break up with knives right now.
You need to break up with your high school girlfriend.
Yes. So, weirdly, whenever I think of the movie and I describe it to someone who has like never even heard of it, I basically describe it as like it's the best video game movie ever. Despite the fact that it is not based on a video game. It's very much structured like a video game and has about, you know, the emotional depth, really, of a side-scrolling fighter game.
Well, I would disagree with that about the emotional depth, because it's certainly better than Bimmy and Jimmy not understanding how girlfriends work.
Okay, so maybe it's not the worst one.
But it's like, what if we had the whole side-scrolling, like, beat-em-up thing where you're fighting a bunch of guys to get your girlfriend back, but also that's representative of, like, relationships and how you think you're the good guy, but actually you're just another evil ex, and like that structure becomes a useful metaphor in the like relationship plot lines as well.
Plus, you know, very, very well directed by
it's
Edgar Wright.
It's just super slick, really good looking film.
Soundtrack's badass as well.
Yeah, with Beck writing like all of the songs for the band.
And the Clash of Demon Head song is
it's a really good song.
By Metro.
The full version is really good. They only use like 30 seconds because
we've got some good 8-bit versions of the songs on the album.
The start of this video you'll have heard the 8-bit version of Threshold.
Yeah, that's
Threshold's a great song.
Yeah, good scene to go along with it. Although it does cut the twins like screen time a lot.
You see, okay, so
because they do get a whole book.
Yeah, but I think that's the weakest book.
And also, I don't know that it's the weakest book, but certainly it's the weakest fight, and it's intentionally so. Like most of that fight happens off screen, as it were, while you're outside with Ramona and Kim. Scott's fighting the robot. Like inside, and it's focused on Ramona and Kim's conversation and getting to know both of them outside of like their relationship with Scott.
Yeah, so it's like right at the end of that fight, Scott is like saving Kim again, just like the story that I recounted earlier. And then he goes back to find Ramona, and Ramona just disappears.
Yep.
He's like, I have to go back to Gideon.
Well, it's no. It's Ramona's. It's the thing of like Ramona isn't. I think in the book Scott is more of a dick, but Ramona still isn't innocent. She does just like anytime there's trouble, just run away.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, maybe this isn't gonna work out. Bye then.
Yeah, but their relationship is a lot more serious in the book, so I can obviously see why they stick together.
It's hard in the space of 2 hours with a bunch of fights and like flashing stuff going on to also be like, oh no, they were together for like 9 months.
I thought it was like over a year.
Because
Scott has a birthday. Scott has 2 birthdays.
Does he have 2 birthdays? I thought
it's definitely over a year in the books.
It's definitely over a year. I heard someone say it was over 2, but I'm not.
Yeah, because at one point somebody's asking about like, oh, young Neil, and you dating Knives Chow? And it's like, come on, man, that was like over a year.
Yeah, because they had like a.
But people also exaggerate the length of time and like Scott says stuff is over a year ago when it was like yesterday.
Young Neil wouldn't lie.
Are you still talking about that?
Young Neil wouldn't
like
lie.
Over a year ago.
No. Bye, Ramona.
When you in high school, like 10 years. You must be like 27.
Knives is just turned 17 at the start of the book, and she's out of high school, like just about to go to college at the end of the book. So it's like just over a year that the whole like series goes.
Oh, right.
Makes it a bit more weird that he's 24.
He's 22 when they meet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And 23 at the end.
But he's 24.
I like to think I wasn't as bad of a person as Scott when I was 22, but I can't be sure.
You weren't dating a 17-year-old, so there's that.
Well, no, yeah, I wasn't doing that. That'd be weird. You know, then I'd definitely know I was as bad as Scott Pilgrim.
But you didn't. Yeah, so you didn't cheat on the 17-year-old with a later girl who's probably something like 25.
Plus, she's fat.
Oh, God. This cat's got claws. I love the when Ramona questions Scott about when their relationship actually started.
Were you cheating on me with knives?
It's like, no, I cheated on knives with you. It's like, there was a difference. Like, you weren't wrong.
Oh no! Like, come on, dude.
God, you know not to say that. What the hell?
Yeah, that's the thing with the film that I think glances over.
Right.
It's like you cheated on me with knives.
No,
like no, I cheated on knives with you, and then it's just like, okay, you go that way, we'll talk this out.
No,
Nega Scott appears.
Well, no, actually, so they dropped that line in the middle of a Gideon fight.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you weren't wrong, and then it's like, no, dude, that's not cool. And then he gets stabbed, and then they have to get through that.
Yeah, because he had the power of love.
Now he has
and
the
that
power
wasn't
of-
enough to beat.
He has
Gideon.
the power of self-respect.
Scott had the power of self-respect.
And
good.
like just punching dudes instead of thinking of passwords and stuff.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah. I mean, I'm obviously quite a big fan of Gideon because, once again, we're
another-
talking about the character I'm dressed up as. It's hitting my entire cosplay catalog now.
We need to somehow find a supernatural video game so we can talk about Castiel.
Yeah. We'd also need to find a good Doctor Who video game, but of course it doesn't exist. They're all gone.
There is a top drop.
There are Doctor Who video games?
Yeah, but we're getting off topic.
Who'd have thunk it?
Not
David
I.
Blunkett.
Not I. So these dinosaur villains are quite frustrating when they fall down. The fact that they're like invulnerable.
Oh yeah, you can't punch them on the ground.
Yeah, particularly because when you're really low level, you actually
You
can't.
don't have the ability to punch on the ground yet.
Yeah, you can't just crouch and punch. There's a really cool move you learn, I think, relatively early on, where you jump and stomp. So you can like use enemies like the skipping stones in Takeshi's castle and just kind of go bonk, 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 bonk.
When they're reviving someone, it seems like they're tickling them almost.
Oh, go. Ooh.
Come on, get up, get up.
I
Come on, hey, get up.
I got you, kid.
Break it.
Break it
that.
down.
I don't seem to remember this bit in the film.
This wasn't in the movie. Oh god, there's a later level which we won't get to because we're bad at this game. But the one with Roxy takes place entirely on the bus that they regularly ride around town. So obviously, if you go too high, you fall off. If you go too low, you fall off. If you go to the very end, you fall off. And let me tell you, it's frustrating. Whereas at least in these levels, you're on a closed set.
Isn't the thing with Roxy being like orgasming when tickled behind the knee?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
somebody else in the book.
That's
isn't it?
envy. That's envy.
It's envy. Yeah, it's
that's
envy.
how Scott knows how to do it.
It's
No, it's not.
No, it's
No, it's
envy.
Roxy.
No, it's
envy in the
It's
book.
envy's weak spot, and Scott
In the
tells
bu- in the
Ramona
book?
to do it.
Yeah, it's
in the
envy, it's
book.
envy.
Yeah,
Oh,
because Scott won't fight envy because he doesn't want to hit a girl,
Oh, I see. Okay, so they swapped that around for the movie.
and so and then he tells Ramona to like tickle behind the knee.
That's odd.
Yeah.
Behind the knee.
Yeah.
It's not particularly tender.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe because my legs are fucking ripped.
Such a powerful man.
No tickling space. It's all muscle.
This is a no tickle zone, baby.
Too many games. With a Z.
Welcome to Capital Gainsburg.
Gainesville, Tennessee.
Population? Me.
Video game references, like, should we just run through like off the top of your head? Like, there's a bunch of Final Fantasy references.
Yes. There's lots of music cues from like Zelda when people get items.
Oh yeah, he does the bass line.
Well, there's the dream sequence.
Right,
There's,
yes, he
there's the
does.
Zelda dream sequence as well in the book.
Oh, yeah, the Great Fairy Fountain.
Yeah.
Say that 5 times first. Great Fairy Fountain View. Great Fairy Fountain View.
Obviously, there's a lot of like Street Fighter and kind of Streets of Rage type beat 'em up like references with all the fight scenes. Is there anything else that's like? I'm not massive on pre-PlayStation era games, so
No.
is there
Story?
anything else you noticed? Story?
Not off the
resident
top of my
Nintendo
head.
fan.
There's a lot of very surface level like name dropping, like when Knives asks what young Neil does, like right at the start when we're watching the band, and he's like, it's like I play bass, like I play drums. It's like this Steven
What do you
Stills
play?
the talent, and it's like, what do you play, young Neil? It's like
Zelda.
Zelda, Tetris. It's
Final Fantasy.
It's kind of a big question.
There's also the Pac-Man joke as well.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
right.
the Paku Paku.
Oh, yeah. So maybe it's because I got this book. It's called like One Up: How Japanese Video Games Gave the World an Extra Life or something. Really cool, but it did explain the Puckman thing. So I was sitting in the cinema, and they go over that information, and it's the most hipster I've ever felt. Where like it went through and it's like, oh, like did you know that in Japan Pac-Man's called Puckman? I'm like, yep. and they changed it for America to Pac-Man. Like, yeah, I got it. It's because of people who have hated the graffiti. They were gonna like scratch it out. I'm like, yeah, I already know that. So he mentions that to Knives. I mean, he mentions it to Ramona, and I'm like, God, we all already know that. Shit. Whereas, like in reality, it's just the fact that I've read this very specific book about Japanese video games.
In reality, you are Scott Pilgrim.
No.
When you want to be your favorite characters in films, this ain't the place.
Nah. Don't meet your heroes, kids. And certainly don't become them. Oh god, I'm gonna be dating a fucking high schooler.
And getting her to pay for everything because you have no job and no money.
Oh yeah. Oh,
My life's gonna suck. I don't do any of this shit. I want to date a high schooler. I don't want to have no money.
You're already older than Scott is. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right.
You've passed the point of no return.
I certainly don't want to fight a negative version of myself.
I don't know.
Do you know why? Because I'm afraid that when I meet it, I find out that I'm the negative version, and that this version of story is in fact in more color and is brighter and happier.
Oh,
no, we died.
We died because we suck at actually working as a team.
Yeah, we're pretty bad at this game.
Yeah.
I'm mostly speaking for myself.
Yeah. You're Scott Pilgrim.
I am Ramona.
So the person who was playing Scott was no.
This is
What?
this is boring.
Just while we're fast forwarding, I really hope that really nice edit doesn't get us taken down for copyright infringement.
Oh god, that was really nice.
It's educational. It's educational.
It's not.
Fair use.
It's oh yeah, that's the thing. That was a letter in that stuff as well.
Sure, we
Not
should be
email.
Oh yeah, of course we won't.
The lettering isn't exactly the same font. It's a free version that looks very similar to the font.
Legally distinct. Woo!
But I'm hoping that's a short enough bit of that movie that's...
Yeah.
I suppose.
Also, we don't have any money to take.
I suppose the ex we've spoken least about is Matthew Patel, which is kind of because he's the
Pirates
first
are
one.
in this year.
Pirates are in this year. You dress like a pirate?
I don't really like the song from the movie.
He's the one that he sings.
Yeah.
It's a bit too cringy for me.
Right.
It's supposed to be cringy, though.
I know, but it's
Yeah.
still too cringy.
With your demon hipster chicks.
Tell them, Maddie.
It's
like, no.
It's not something that I want to listen to outside of the context of the movie, but I think it works in that scene. But also, there's the least to say about Matthew Patel.
I suppose.
It's basically him and Ramona were pissed off at the world and went out until she saw someone cuter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got jealous.
Namely Lucas Lee.
Ooh, it's so dreamy.
And it's all the jocks, and he was like the only non-jock, non-white guy.
We're doing better at this fight this time. I mean, I'm not saying we're acing it, but doing better.
Yeah. It's all that fast forward power.
Fast forward power is super
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah, all the ones have become 2s. Everything's doubled. I don't know how we got a 5 in there.
In this game, is no like, I got a life or anything like reference to that.
Oh, like getting an extra life.
Yeah.
Oh, the I had another guy.
Yeah.
No, you just kind of. I guess because it's a video game, they can't really poke fun at that because that's just the mechanic of how you get through the game.
Like they you do have another guy.
Is there a
Yeah.
Nega Scott boss battle?
I believe there is. Yes. Yeah.
Have you finished this?
Oh God, sorry. Nega Scott is a reference to Dark Link, obviously from Zelda 2 and Ocarina of Time.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's not very specifically that because it's like the other version of yourself. Oh my god, you're riding on a fucking skateboard! That was so cool. Yeah,
Mega
yeah,
Ninja.
yeah. So
I just hit the skateboard for I picked it up.
Yeah, yeah. So I suppose it is kind of generally like confronting yourself, all the negative aspects of yourself, but it does kind of count.
No, I think that definitely counts because it's the color scheme, especially in the color version. It's the dark link kind of grey blue color scheme.
The thing with Negasky makes a lot more sense in the books why he appears, because it's obviously like an epiphany moment. He's like a self-realization of who he is and how much of a dick he actually is and how much he should change.
It's more of a throwaway.
But then in the film, it's just like, we're gonna go out and get a burger next week.
Yeah, I suppose it's a very different way of achieving the same thing because he comes to an agreement very easily with Negascott, so he kind of feels like on balance with himself. He's very happy with himself. But in the book, it's, they actually fight, and then that same realization, rather that same dramatic point, is met when he realizes that he's still fighting for Ramona. So all this dicking about he's done, trying to get back together with Knives and mistakenly making out with Kim, and it's like, no, refocus, I am doing it for Ramona, and he remembers all of his lovely moments with Ramona in a few panels, and he's like, wait, I'm doing it for this, and then Negascott kind of gets absorbed. I mean, that's way cooler than the movie stuff.
Yeah, but I do like the movie's a good way of going, we didn't really have time for the bit where Scott goes up north to Kim when she's moved home, and so we still want to have some reference to Negascott.
Yeah.
It's a good way of doing it, and it fits with the kind of the video game motif of you beat the final boss. Oh wait, there's another secret boss.
Oh wait, there wasn't actually an ending to the book yet, was there either? It came out because they wrote it just after the fifth one came out.
Yeah, I think they would the movie was released about a month after the last book. Batter up, boom!
Do that again, and I will end you.
I think and
nice.
Brian Lee O'Malley had told Edgar Wright pretty much where it was going, but yes, they when the film was in production, the last book hadn't been written.
Yeah, very much a George R. R. Martin situation. It's like, this is where we're going. Get to that point. Keep whatever you want the same, but as long as you get to the same end point, we're good. These end screens are so great with Stephen and Kim in the background.
I like how happy Stephen is, and Kim is like, Scott.
My favorite thing with Ramona and Scott is definitely in the book when it's when they're on the beach and it's a Sonic.
Yeah,
Sonic kissing.
Yeah. That is some great artwork as well because it's right at the start. That it's a little bit more detailed as well of Volume 2. Maybe it's Volume 3. I forget. But yeah, there's just a little bit more texture to it, a little bit more shading. And not to say that the art style in Scott Pilgrim is bad. I think it. Yeah, there we go. I think it does jump up a little bit after Volume 1, but just for those little extra reasons. Super duper.
Okay, well, thank you for watching this episode of The Hall of Justice. And if you've liked it, please subscribe. You can leave comments on the channel, and you can also get in touch with us at The Hall of Justice on YouTube. No, Twitter. This is YouTube that you're watching this on. Christ.
Good night, everybody.
I was doing so well.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.